Hello students, so today I'm going to start a new topic which is objects as function arguments. Now there are two ways to pass the objects as function arguments. Those are the pass by value method and the pass by reference method. Now I'm going to discuss about the pass by value method. Now here is a sample program. You can find this program in your book under the section pass by value and pass by reference, which takes objects as function arguments. The program has a class identified by the name employee. These are the public data members as they fall under this access specifier, which is public. Then there is one member function which is also public. The class body ends here with a semicolon. We can see some abstraction in this member function known as display because the function body is absent. The function body for this member function display has been defined outside of the class with the help of the scope resolution operator. Then if you come below, you can see another function identified by the name empout_display. But if you see this function clearly, this has not been declared inside the class. There is only one member function inside this class employee, and that is the member function display. The function empout_display has not been declared inside this class known as employee. So this is a non-member function as it is not present inside this class employee. So display is the member function and empout_display is the non-member function. The program starts with the main function because main is the inception of a program. Every C++ program has to start with the main function. So just as I enter inside its body, the first statement declares an object identified by the name emp of the class employee. Now as soon as this object emp gets created, these data members and this member function display shall be bind to the object so that it forms an encapsulation around the object. So the data members and the member function has been bundled together into a single unit to form an encapsulation, and this encapsulation shall be bind to this object emp. As a result, these data members and this member function shall operate upon this object. As soon as the encapsulation has been done, when the object emp gets created, the object emp then tries to access the data member emp code, and the access has been granted. This is because the data member emp code has been declared as public. As you all know that public members are accessible everywhere, so is this data member emp code accessible from inside the main, which is outside the class employee. The object emp then accesses the data member emp code and then assigns the value 100 into it. Then in the next statement, using the same object emp, it is trying to access the data member emp name. The access will be granted because the data member emp name is also declared as public. And then using this string copy function, in short strcpy, the value ms Sujata gets assigned to this data member emp name. And then again using the same object emp, it tries to access the data member emp desig, and again the access has been granted because emp desig is a public data member. And just after that, the value pgt computer has been assigned to this data member emp desig, and it uses the string copy function for that. In the same way, it assigns the value 12,500 to the public data member EMP salary. Now these values, that is 100 for EMP code, MS Sujata for EMP name, PGT computer for EMP desig, and 12,500 for EMP salary, indicates the state of the object EMP. So these values 100, MS Sujata, PGT computer, and 12,500 indicate the state of this object EMP. So this is the current state of the object EMP with these values assigned to its data members. Now if you look here, as soon as the value 100 gets assigned to the data member EMP code, automatically 2 bytes of memory space is reserved for that. Because the data member EMP code has the data type int, and int takes 2 bytes of storage. In the same way, as soon as the value MS Sujata gets assigned to the data member EMP name, 20 bytes has been reserved for that. This is because when you have declared the data member EMP name, you have given its size as 20, and then you have assigned its data type as char. Now all of you are familiar with the char data type. It requires 1 bytes of storage, and since the size is 20, we calculate it as 20 into 1, where this 1 byte is for this char data type. As a result, 20 into 1 equals 20 bytes. So this data member EMP name is going to take 20 bytes of memory storage for assigning the value MS Sujata into it. Now look over here. In this case, the value PGT computer has been assigned into the data member EMP desig. Okay, but this data member has the size 15 and type as char. Now as char takes 1 bytes of storage, so 1 into 15 gives 15 bytes of memory storage. So this much amount of byte shall be allocated to the data member EMP desig as soon as the value PGT computer gets assigned into it. Then look over here. As soon as the value 12,500 gets assigned into the data member EMP salary, 4 bytes of memory space has been reserved for EMP salary. This is because if you look at this data member EMP salary, it has been declared of type float. Now all of you know that float takes 4 bytes of memory storage. So EMP salary is going to take 4 bytes of memory storage. Now, as all these values indicate the state of the object EMP, we can easily find out the total number of memory space that shall be allocated for this object EMP. And that can be done by summing up all of these, which gives 41 bytes. So 41 bytes of memory space shall be reserved for the object EMP. So just after executing these 4 statements, the control will then move to the next statement. In this statement, using the cout operator, it's going to display the text, "Here is the employee information," which is within inverted code exactly as it is in the output. So here it is. And then the control shifts to the next line. It then executes this for loop. The value I has been initialized to 0, and it is going to run till 32 because I is less than or equal to 32. So I starts from 0 and ends at 32. Now if you count from 0 to 32, it is 33 in total. And that many times it is going to print this equality operator using the cout operator. So this equality symbol is going to be printed 33 times. So here it is, just after the text, here is the employee information. You can see the equality operator getting printed 33 times. And once the equality operator gets printed 33 times, the statement ends with a semicolon. And then the control moves to this particular statement, where with the help of the object EMP, it is trying to access the member function display. As the member function display has been declared as public, so the access has been granted. And the control is then going to move from this calling function into the call function out here. But if you look at this call function display, its implementation details are hidden because it has been defined outside of this class employee. So the control is again going to move outside of this class employee and jump till here, where it is going to execute these implementation details of this function display. The first statement uses the cout operator to print the text employee code, which is within inverted code, into the output like this. And then it is going to put the value of the data member EMP code into the output. As the value 100 was assigned to the data member EMP code, so you can see 100 for employee code in the output. Then the next statement prints the text employee name, which is within inverted code, into the output, followed by the value of the data member EMP name. As the value of the data member EMP name was MS Sujata, so employee name and the value MS Sujata for the data member EMP name gets displayed in the output table exactly like this. Then the third statement prints the text employee designation, which is within inverted code, followed by the value assigned to the data member EMP desig into the output. As the value assigned to the data member EMP desig was PGT computer, so you can see employee designation as PGT computer in the output. Then in the fourth statement, using the cout operator, it's going to print the text employee salary, which is within inverted code, exactly as it is in the output, along with the value assigned to the data member EMP salary. As the value assigned to the data member EMP salary was 12,500, so you can see the employee salary as 12,500 in the output. Once you have executed this statement, the control then moves to the next line. The function body for the member function display has been executed, and then the control is going to move to the next line, that is just after the calling function, which is here. Here, using the cout operator, it is executing the endl command. As all of you already know that the purpose of the endl command is to skip one line. So just after printing the stuff in the output, the control then moves to the next line, that is here. Now what it's going to do in the next line, we can determine that with the help of this for loop. The for loop again starts with the value of I at 0 and it ends at 32. So 0 to 32 means it's going to print the equality operator 33 times. So just after all these stuffs which were already printed in the output, you can see this equality operator getting printed 33 times. And once the for loop and its body gets executed, the control then moves into the next line and then executes this statement. This is the function EMP out underscore display, which is nothing but the non-member function. Because if you look at this function, it has not been declared inside the class. The only function inside the class is display. So display is the member function inside the class employee. As a result, emp out underscore display is going to be the non-member function. As the function starts to execute from this point, so this is the calling function. Inside this calling function emp out display, we have one parameter. The parameter is the object emp itself. Now the control is going to jump from this calling function into the call function. Again, in this call function emp out display, you also have a parameter. The parameter name is emp1. Now look out here. The parameter name in the calling function was emp, whereas the parameter name in the call function is emp1. They are different parameters. So a copy of the parameter emp shall be passed to the parameter emp1 with the help of pass by value method. That means the content of this object emp in the calling function shall be copied into the object emp1 in the call function. But before that, the object emp has to be created from the class employee. Once the object emp1 gets created, the data members and the member function from the class employee shall be bind to the object emp1 to form an encapsulation around this object. Once the encapsulation has been done, the contents of the object emp, or you can say the state of the object emp, shall be copied into this object emp1 by the help of pass by value method. As these values indicate the state of the object emp, they will get copied into the object emp1. You can see it clearly here. The state of the object emp and the state of the object emp1 is exactly the same, because the values of its data members are exactly the same. And due to this pass by value method, both these objects emp and emp1 occupy different memory locations. The object emp is going to store these values for its data members in one memory location, and the object emp1 is going to store these values for its data members in a different memory location. So as of now, the current state of the object emp1 is this, which has been copied from the object emp. And once this is done, the function enters inside its body and starts to execute these four statements. The first statement assigns the value 101 to the data member emp code. The second statement assigns the value Mr. Ashok to the data member emp name. The third statement assigns the value PGT chemistry to the data member emp name. Sorry, it should be emp desig. Okay. The value PGT chemistry shall be assigned to the data member emp desig. And then the value 16,500 shall be assigned to the data member emp salary. Now if you see here, new values has been assigned to the data members emp code, emp name, emp desig and emp salary. So the previous values of the data member for the object emp1 is going to change. As a result, the state of this object emp1 is also going to change, and due to this change of state, the previous values of 100 for emp code, Sujata for emp name, PGT computer for emp desig and 12,500 for emp salary is going to be changed. okay, they are going to be replaced by these new values, that is 101 for EMP code, Ashok for EMP name, chemistry for EMP desig, and 16,500 for EMP salary. As a result, the old state of the object EMP1 has been replaced by the new state, and these values indicate the new state for the object EMP1. So there is a change of state from this state to this state. As a result, the current state of the object EMP1 has changed into this one. If you see all these values, those are here. Once these statements gets executed and the state of the object EMP1 has changed, it then executes these four statements. The first statement prints the text employee code using the cout operator along with the value of the data member EMP code belonging to the object EMP1. Okay, so it prints employee code along with the value of the data member EMP code, which is nothing but 101. So employee code 101 shall get printed in the output table like this. In the same way, the next statement prints the text employee name, which is within inverted quote, into the output exactly like this, and along with that it's going to print the value of the data member EMP name, which belongs to the object EMP1, and that value is Mr. Ashok. So it's employee name and Mr. Ashok that's going to be shown as the output. Then the next statement prints employee designation and the value of the data member EMP desig belonging to the object EMP1. Now this value is PGT chemistry as shown here. So employee designation chemistry is going to be printed in the output exactly like this. Then the last statement inside the function body of the non-member function EMP out display is going to print the text employee salary along with the value of the data member EMP salary belonging to the object EMP1, which is nothing but 16,500 as indicated here. So it's employee salary 16,500 that is going to be printed in the output. After executing the last statement, the function body of the non-member function EMP out display ends here with a closing parenthesis. Now the control is again going to move back to the main function and reach this point just after the non-member function EMP out display, which takes the form of a calling function. As the control reaches here, using the cout operator, it is executing the endl command to move to the next line. So after executing these stuffs, it is moving to the next line. Okay, now you are not going to see this equality operator getting printed 33 times again. Let me delete it. Okay, so that has been deleted. This is because I have printed the equality operator 33 times using this cout operator. Firstly at this point, and again I have printed this equality symbol 33 times using this cout operator second time at this point. After that I haven't executed the for loop to print the equality symbol again, and that's the reason I have deleted it out here. There was an error. So as of now you get to see this particular output once you execute this entire program. The last statement return 0 successfully exits the program, as 0 stands for successful exit. If you put a non-zero value, the program is not going to end successfully. So always remember to put 0 after the return statement for a successful exit from the main. As 0 is an integer, that's why I have put the data type of the main function as int, not void. Okay, if I put void, I can't put return 0 over here. So once you execute this entire program, okay, once you execute this entire program, you get to see this particular output. Now if you look at this program logic, the program logic is based on a real world application where you get to enter some employee information such as his employee code, employee name, employee designation, and employee salary, and then finally display those information in the form of this output. The output shows the information of two different employees, namely Sujata and Ashok. Their designations are different and their salaries are different. So that's all about the pass by value method, taking objects as function arguments. In the next video, I shall be explaining about the pass by reference method, taking objects as function arguments. Now with this, I end my presentation here.